Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel, and we are live from the Netherlands, Nederland, with Roy from Microsoft. We're going to talk all things CS. Roy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks for being here. I'm super excited about this topic because I'm hoping to learn a lot about Microsoft's business and strategy and plans in this area. All things communication services, CPaaS, even we're going to touch on Chat GPT. So imagine that. But before we jump in, Roy, maybe introduce yourself. Roy Dehing, Microsoft Principal Partner Program Manager. Wow, that's a mouthful to
yes.
say that 5 times quickly at Microsoft Azure Communication Services.
Yeah, I always keep it with, let's say, the partner program manager.
Okay.
But I'm, let's say, dedicated to the operators and MVNO and ISV. So I'm focusing on the partner business, and I'm in the product house of Azure Communication Services, where I listen to the product developers and their vision and their roadmap and strategy, and I engage partners to be as just as enthusiastic as the product people are. We listen to them, we learn from each other, and by doing this, we hope to bring new products to market.
That's fantastic. So, Microsoft, as we all know, as customers and partners, very complex organization. So explain exactly where in this organization, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of employees you fit. Where does Azure fit? And communications in particular is my interest with the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance. So where is Azure in this organization?
Yeah, so Azure is actually the main, yes, and inside Azure we will find Azure Communication Services, and I position Azure Communication all the time when I have the discussions with my partners as the glue in the
Mm.
CX space. Yeah, so this glue brings all machine to machine, machine to human communication, and even human to human communications together.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, and for me, a human is somebody that using a SaaS application or a custom application that was built on top of a platform as a service. And a human of a machine for me is an IoT device, and it could
Mm.
be, a real IoT device, or it could be a Windows machine, those kind of things. And yeah, that is for me, let's say, how I pitch CX. Yeah, CX is for me not a customer experience or a contact center experience anymore. It's for me, it's all about the creativity, and the use cases are endless actually.
Yeah, we're going to get into a lot of different use
Yeah.
cases, and you're really the enabling, almost super glue. I'd call you versus just glue. Let's give you an upgrade,
Yeah.
but let's talk a little history because Microsoft has a deep history in what voice communications, enterprise communications, going back to Skype, but also Skype for Business and the whole Teams evolution. So how did ACS, or Azure Communication Services, evolve from all that history?
So I think it all started with Teams. Teams as a SaaS offering, it's a SaaS application. And actually, we have a backend that is, let's say, Teams is using. And I think it was a normal next step as that we exposed that backend as a new platform as a service. And we are a platform as a service, or you can see us as a platform as a service, but between brackets, one from the hyperscalers actually. Yeah, so we have our competitors, and we have many more platform as a services. But I always explain ourselves as, let's say, we took our lessons from Teams and that backend as a SaaS offering, and now we would like to resell that backend as a platform as a service, and see us placed as an hyperscaler.
So platform as a service, clearly. Do you embrace the CPaaS as term of art? I know you get mixed feelings about the word. It's a little 5-letter acronyms, aren't the most
Yeah.
popular thing. But you call it PaaS, CPaaS. Of course, Azure is world-renowned cloud service, or is this all just different words for the same thing?
I think our platform as a service is of course running on the Azure, but it's optimized to handle the CX use cases or the hero
Mhm.
scenarios that I try to build with my partners. And those hero scenarios could front the traditional UCaaS and CCaaS solutions, but you can also say, I have partners that have a platform as a service offering, but they would like to do a lift and shift from their backend to our backend and sees us as an hyperscaler. So
Mm.
this is how I see it. This is how let's say, ACS started and how we would like to bring ACS forward.
Yeah. So tell me, you mentioned your hobby is CX. So
Yes.
that's an interesting hobby. I won't tell your loved ones because they might get a bit annoyed with that. But you know, when you're talking to partners, in your case, it's the carriers, developers, MNOs, mobile MVNOs, the whole gamut. How do you educate them that ACS is really the next big thing, as you call it at Microsoft, and how's it going to help them change CX for the better?
Yeah. So what I see, as soon as let's say I have the first meeting with them, any operator or an MVNO or an ISP, they have a CX strategy. Yes. And in their CX strategy, they would like to build hero scenarios, hero use cases,
Hmm.
and we could touch base on some use cases later on. But those use cases are, again, as I explained to you before, it's fronting the traditional UCaaS and CCaaS solutions. Operators wants to combine it with their network, their connectivity, mobile and fixed. ISV wants to, take their solution, do a lift and shift. And MVNOs, for me, the mobile virtual network operators from a traditional business, I see them as a wholesale supplier, but also from original, they are having also a CPaaS offering already, because they did wholesales business. Maybe they had a broad soft platform in the back end that they exposed to the outside world, and that is their PaaS offering, CPaaS offering. So I went, and when I landed 8 months ago in this role, I was thinking, how can I be successful with Azure Communication Service in partner business? And then I said, hey, those three, they are fueling each other. So yes, every partner has a CX strategy, but some is quicker than the other. Some is a quick mover, slow mover, but because they fuel each other, if I am not successful with operator A or B, they still work with an ISV. So this is for me, let's say, the circle of success, the circle of scale, I would say. So this is, how I bring that, and why I think, MVNOs, operators, and ISVs, and the contact center ISVs are, let's say, my success moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I love circles. Virtuous circles are always a good thing. But Microsoft has so much technology under the hood,
Yeah.
from low code, no code, AI platforms, tools, all kinds of solutions. I can't even keep track. So really, it's about digital transformation, right? So
Yeah.
do you play a kind of consultative role in helping you as a subject matter expert, helping these customers, create a world-class CX strategy?
Of course, that's my role, and convincing those partners in this
Uh-huh.
digital strategy. And I also understand that sometimes it's very difficult because, as I told you, if you talk about human, and all the SaaS applications that Microsoft has, and you want to build a use case on top of those SaaS success that we have, like Teams, like Dynamics, like LinkedIn, like Xbox,
So
uh,
much. You just threw
much,
out
yeah, it's
like
much,
four
yeah.
multi-trillion dollar industries there. Yeah, they're
Yes,
amazing.
and then if you talk about IoT, and maybe for the ISVs, it's not well known yet. We've got, if it comes to the IoT stuff, we've got Azure Edge, Azure Percept that brings in, let's
Mm.
say, the connectivity from an IoT standpoint, IoT management devices, those kind of things. So it's good for me, let's say, to be that subject matter expert and advise them, also connecting the dots. And I think also that is also bringing the complexity that I have today with my job, and also the success, because you have all the ingredients to become a cupcake, but you also need to align those ingredients to become that cupcake. So
All right,
partner,
don't talk cupcakes because I'm getting hungry here. But
yeah.
I love the cupcake analogy. Do share because I think that's a fun one.
Yes.
Well, who's the icing? Who's the filling? Who's the batter? Who's what's going on here with the cupcake analogy?
Yeah, so for me, the cupcake analogy is that, ACS is the glue or the mixer that makes the
Oh,
cupcake.
I see. Okay.
Yes, and an IoT, Azure Edge is one of the ingredients. Teams
Okay.
is another ingredient.
Okay.
And and if you would like to be successful in CX, the hyperscaler needs to have the right ingredients to
Hmm.
build those hero scenarios and become the cupcake.
Awesome. So you and I both have a background with telcos, or whether you call them telcos or CSPs or phone companies, God forbid.
Yeah.
So, you know, where do they fit in your ecosystem? Are they partners? Are they customers? Or both? What say you?
Yeah, so as the title in my job said, I'm partner. I'm focusing on partners.
Hmm.
So I would like to convince them to build those hero scenarios. It's their
Mm.
IP. So meaning if they build those hero scenarios on top on ACS, the glue, it's their IP, it's their product to
Mm.
market that they sell to their customers in the enterprise or in the SMB.
Wow, that's huge. So I imagine you'll be at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona coming up, just yeah, a couple months away.
Yes,
Uh,
indeed.
I've been going there for 15 years. When it was in Cannes, believe it or not, it was in Nice and then Cannes. So yeah, amazing opportunity. Can you talk any about the applications, some of the use cases, the hero, customer cases that you're talking about? Any color commentary on examples or without giving away specifics, I'm sure.
Yes.
What are the applications you're seeing most popular?
Yeah. So what I see as a trend, so the trends that I have today with my partners is that one trend is again fronting the traditional UCaaS and CCaaS. So they would like to do the, let's say, and it's not, I would not offend somebody, but it's the kind of the old-fashioned contact center. It's
Mhm.
PSTN into an IVR into an agent.
I'll offend them. Very old fashioned. We need to
Very
move away from.
old-fashioned. But they would like to, let's say, front those traditional UCaaS and CCaaS and enable that or upgrade it with AI and machine learning capabilities. So that is a trend. That is also what we see as a trend that they would like to integrate that with Teams because Teams has a huge success. If you look to, let's say, the users on Teams using Teams, etc. Fronting a use case hero scenario Dynamics as an example, because Dynamics also recently announced, let's say, a contact center functionality inside the CRM
Mm.
solution.
Mhm.
Of course, we have Nuance. Everybody wants to understand what we do with Nuance. Yes. So if you talk
Just when I
about,
forget, you name a $1 billion company, I forgot is now
yes,
Microsoft. So wow, Nuance in healthcare and other industries, huge, impactful player there.
yes, yeah, and we will touch more on, I think, in our discussion moving forward. But so yeah, you have Nuance, as one of the ingredients bringing the AI machine learning capabilities.
That's that's
Um,
that's fantastic. Um, in terms of your role, how do you spend your time? Is it going to events? Is it educating? Is it doing marketing like this? Is it workshops with customers? I'd just be curious what your day in the life is.
Day in a life. So it starts in the morning with the APAC region.
Okay.
It's
Oh, so you're worldwide. You're really looking
I'm
after.
worldwide. Yeah, so
Oh
I'm
wow.
worldwide. I'm in the product house. So and I'm really talking to the operators, and that could be operators like the big ones that we have, like the AT&Ts, the Verizons, the
Hmm.
BT, Oranges, the Vodafones. But also in the APAC region where we have the SoftBank or the NTT. But NTT is sometimes more seen as in combination of an operator as well as an ISV. So they're also an excellent candidate for that one. ISVs. Of course, I use my network, and we've got certified contact center solutions today already for Teams. So
Mm.
those partners I also talk to, but it's all about, let's say, how can I help them embracing Azure Communication Services and expanding those hero scenarios. And we normally start with the traditional old-fashioned contact center scenarios. We would like to enhance them, bring in the machine into the picture. So I'm also, let's say, the translator between that partner engagement and our product house,
Hmm.
make sure that we are in line with our roadmap and strategy moving forward. And if needed, we tweak it, we change it a little bit if we can, to make sure that we accommodate the partners' way of working.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about a really hot topic, not just AI,
Uh,
but the most exciting development of the new year, I think, for sure, ChatGPT. Anyone who hasn't tried it, go try it at OpenAI. And Microsoft has a very significant role or investment partnership, right, with OpenAI. So tell me more about your view of not just ChatGPT, which is in the early days, but AI in general as part of your portfolio.
Yeah, so again, coming back to the ingredients, if you would like to be successful, and you would like to compete and you would like to compete strong, you need to have the right ingredients. So I talked before on the ones, I talk about Dynamics becoming a contact center solution, including integrated with CRM, of course. ACS as the glue, and ChatGPT is just one of the extra ingredients to make sure that those hero scenarios will be even more enhanced and even be more successful. Again, it's all about creativity, if it
Hmm.
comes to creating such hero scenarios.
No, I love that. We have a
Yeah.
nice comment from Henrique about CX, people, process, technology. It's training, it's enablement, it's learning. But he has a point. People have a day-to-day job to do. It's hard to step back and have strategy as well as executing on just the day-to-day requirements. How do you balance that with the short versus the long term and helping customers, partners, be successful in the process?
Yeah, it's all about industry trends, short-term
Hmm.
wins, long-term wins, and selecting the right hero scenarios. Because creativity is also the pitfall here. You can define endless hero scenarios, but you also need to make sure that you can convince that your hero scenario is repeatable or industry specific. And so, and this I think, in all my engagement with those partners is really understanding, and convince the Microsoft organization, but also the partner organization, that this hero scenario will rock. This hero scenario will be successful and repeatable and make
That's
money and generate money.
that's a great point, and it's also about reuse and repurposing, not do it yourself all the time. I mean, you have a world class cloud with Azure. Why build your own data center? You have speech rec with Nuance. Why build your own algorithm, and on and on and on, right? There are just so many tools in your tool bag. I guess one of the challenges is just getting the word out, because it's tough sometimes for partners to understand all the mix of technologies that you at Microsoft and Azure Communication Services offer.
Yeah.
So
And
having said that,
again,
what yeah, go ahead.
no, I think that is also the hardest part. Again, coming back, the hero scenario is defining it, but also aligning internally at Microsoft. Yes, we are a very smooth, big organization, and the one Microsoft mindset is always, let's say, ahead of every decision, and it's always in mind if we make the decision. But Azure Percept from an IoT machine point of view, as an organization on its own, and
Hmm.
defines their own roadmap and strategy. Then we've got Azure Communication Services. Then we have Teams or another SaaS application. So I think to be successful, yes, you need to have the right ingredients, but you also need to make sure that you align, talk to each other in that one Microsoft mindset thinking, and that you contribute to the success of others. I would say also internally. So this is how we see it at Microsoft, and that is the hardest part.
No, I love it. I love it. Helping your colleagues succeed. Fantastic. Well, I do have to admit, I'm not in Amsterdam, despite the beautiful
Yeah.
view there. But you are in the Netherlands. Whereabouts exactly are you in the country? It's a small country, but where
Yes.
are you?
I always make fun of the people living in Amsterdam and having the high mortgages. I'm living in the sunny south of the Netherlands, where it's always two
Okay,
degrees warmer than Amsterdam region. But I'm living close to the Belgium and German border, and
nice.
so really in the south. And it makes me, being also a good traveler, because I have a lot of airports in the area or train stations to be, let's say, everywhere in Europe. Am I?
Yeah, no, I love the communications or transportation network in Europe. Any trips coming up? Where are you headed next, if I can ask?
Yes. On my trip plans, of course, Mobile World Conference,
Yeah.
Enterprise Connect in March.
Oh, Enterprise Connect. Well, I'll be there as
Yes,
well, so I'll be able to see you
yes, and
there.
then of course we already in preparation of all the Ignite sessions that we do ourselves on our own, let's say, events.
And
And
there are only about 30 of those, so that'll keep you busy.
yes, yes, and COVID is also giving it another format where it first was physical. It's still
Mhm.
remote. So. And yeah, a lot of visits. It's all about visiting, making sure that I position myself as a trusted advisor.
Right.
And this is also, I think, how I can succeed. Making sure that I just share what it is there today, what we could do tomorrow, and if they have the appetite to work with me to go from A to B.
Yeah, it's amazing. Despite having Teams and video and everything else, you can't beat that human to human relationship building. Well, look forward to meeting you in person, Roy. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great evening, and we'll be following ACS with great interest. Thank you. And for
Thank
everyone
you.
listening, look at the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance. The info's in the tweet and the post, and we look forward to your participation in that as well. All right. Thanks, Roy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. See you. Bye bye.